Welcome back. Didn't think I would say that again for TCG Card Shop, but I had a really difficult day at work, and this is the game I wanted to play to chill out, and I thought, you know what? Why not just fucking record it? I am really enjoying recording, editing, uploading. I haven't done too much editing, to be honest, because I feel like transparency is my recipe. However, the new thing that I haven't done yet because I'm like low-key wasting time, but I'm also waiting for parts to come in the mail and stuff like that because I'm trying to improve my production value just a little bit. I work at basic jobs, so I don't have a lot of money, but I want to improve it because it's a little bit different than what I'm doing. But playing this gives me a break from Supervive, which I will go back into, and I'm already thinking about like, man, I gotta go back in there. But also a place where I can keep talking about some serious stuff or maybe just chill out. And maybe I should title the videos differently so that way you know when I'm talking about when I'm having real talk or just chilling. And you know what? Fuck it. Maybe that's what I'll title it. Real talk or just chilling. But I'm still new to this. I'm still working everything out, even though this is video 1 million or whatever. And I'm going to keep doing that. And eventually I'll find a recipe because I do look at everything. I look at the, you know, what people like, what people don't. The only thing that I ask is that people post in the comments and more than just my friends and family. I do say please like and subscribe and all that shit. But I want to know, like, if you're taking the time to watch what I'm doing or listen to what I'm doing, if there's any feedback at all, if there's something you do want, something you don't want, give it to me. I can take it and I will make adjustments because I really want to talk to other people is what I want to do, to be honest with you. But anyways, I can't go for long. So we're just going to jump right in, and I do have a topic of conversation this time, so this would be a real talk video, I suppose. So, but first, before I announce what that is, I have a shop to run here, and we're going to hop right in and make sure everything's tidied up. Now, I don't remember, and I think I said this last time, but if I did what I was supposed to do at night, then I should have nothing to do in the morning besides open. So first thing I do is I look around, I check the sprays. This one's going to need one. Do we have backups? We have a lot of backups because we're selling them now. I'm sure I set prices, and if I didn't, then I'll lose money today, and that's on me for making that mistake. Shelves are stocked. We got people outside. Let's open. So is there cards we can open real quick, just in case we didn't do that? This is half full, this is half full, so no. So we're just gonna hope that we did that. I'm pretty sure that we did. So we got something going on here, and it seems to be working. Oh my god! Are you what? You're like, oh, I think I'm just gonna grab a coffee and go down to this brand new card shop and buy the most fucking expensive card. Are you kidding me? Yes. What a way to start. Just spit all over my monitor. What a way to start. Oh my god, I was not expecting that. Oh, wow. I have to focus. So let's get through our little morning rush. I like how this game simulates rush hours. I don't know if you'd have a morning rush in a card shop, but there seems to be morning, middle, afternoon, which is common for card shops, but common for stores. But I don't know anything about card shops. So, like I said, this video I'm going to talk about something, like some real talk shit. So, I'm gonna have to fill those up soon. I will get distracted. I will jump in the game, jump in and out. I think that that's just kind of what we're doing here at this point. Same thing when we play Supervive. 61. We are making money today. So today I want to talk about alcoholism, or my experience with alcohol. And I want to be clear, I'm drinking right now. And if I was actually doing edits and good at editing, I would put a clip of the movie Flight with Denzel Washington when he says, "I'm drunk right now," because that's my favorite movie with him, excluding Training Day. I don't think you can consider that among favorites when you're listing favorites, because that is one of the greatest movies of all time. However, Training Day would be my other favorite movie with Denzel Washington, and I do not want to spoil it. Sorry, Flight would be my other one, and I do not want to spoil it, especially if you're a drinker. It's something that you will love. It's an absolutely phenomenal performance. So yeah, we've been doing this, giving a little bit lower than asking price. Too low, so then we'll give ask price 123. So yeah, I would, if I was going to edit this, I'm not going to edit, I'm not going to do that, but I'd be like, oh, here's this, you know, this clip would just come in right after what I just said and be like, oh, I'm drunk right now. If you've seen the movie, you know. I really do not want to spoil it. If you haven't seen it, a lot of people actually haven't seen that movie, you should watch it. It's an incredible movie. All of his movies are incredible, but what the fuck did I just do right here? But that one's one of my favorites. Excluding Training Day. Obviously that one's the best. And if you disagree, just dislike the video now. So alcoholism. So first I want to talk about, I have a little bit of a recipe. So now, like, I've learned a lot about YouTube, and, well, not a lot, but enough. I try to learn as I go and learn as I go. And you want to add value to your videos. So, and then rewatching my videos, I feel like just talking about random real life shit, mental health shit, whatever, it's a little bit of value, but not very well organized, and I'm not a very well organized person, so I'm gonna try, and I have been. So the topic is alcoholism, and I'm not gonna teach you on that because I'm definitely not an expert. So like I said, I'm drinking right now, but I have not been diagnosed, but I do consider myself an alcoholic. However, after many years of wow, we're getting so much money right in the morning. I love this. I do have a lot of experience with it on my own journey, and I want to talk a little bit more about my life and my history with it, rather than trying to teach, because I can't really teach much. But I can talk about what I've been through. So, like all mental health issues, addiction, whatever, most of the information you see immediately when you research is relating back to your childhood with your parents. So, my father was an alcoholic for sure, and undiagnosed, but he died from it, or because of it, and I think I might have covered this, I'm not too sure, but I'll give a brief recap on his history. He worked for Ford Motor Company for 30 years, and he worked back in the day when they had a job where they would put lead in the ceiling lining. And even back then, they knew that that was a bad job because they knew about lead poisoning, but they were still doing it, so they were paid well. So he was paid a lot of money even back then, and he was in charge of a team of people that did that. Now, what's very sad about that was a lot of the people that were underneath him ended up dying from lead poisoning, but that's not the way he died. He did develop other issues that run in my family, which is testicular cancer, which I found out later is fairly common in men. Hold on, 1768, 1664. Come on, dude, really? I'll just give you a market, because you know what, I'll give you 1650. How do we feel about that? Okay, let me 14 cents. So, he made a lot of money, and he was fortunate to retire at the age of 45. He died at the age of 65. So, he spent many years in retirement. And even though he was an alcoholic, he was still a very organized, goal-oriented person, and he believed in hard work. Let's try to offer 70 on this one. See what happens. Nice. I'm kind of bouncing around. It's a little bit pointless, but regardless, some brief moments. There was times I was in a thing called Cub Scouts, where you would go with other little kids and other dads, and you learn how to build. You would learn how to build a birdhouse, or you would learn how to put a battery in a car, change a tire, and there'd be events and holiday events and whatnot. And it was like a little learning thing for like boys and their dads and whatnot. But my dad would drop me off, go to the bar, and then come pick me up. Another time, a little bit older, definitely a lot older, when it's like I very much so needed to know how to drive, like past legal driving age. And he would take me out driving, and I think I might have said this before as well. And then we would go driving for like, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. And then he would drop me off, and he would say, if anybody asks you, tell them we went driving for 2 hours. Go to the bar, come back. So he wasn't the greatest dad, even though I did learn a lot of very important life lessons from him, because his whole thing about being a father was teaching me to be better than him, like teaching me the opposite of the way he was. He was that self-aware, even though he didn't really know it. So yeah, so he, you know, he was complicated, he had issues, he was old school, he didn't really know about those things. And and the way he died was, so okay, I'm bouncing too much. So he retired at 45, and then he got a pension from Ford, because that was a very dangerous job for his life. And the older he got, the lower that pension got. But he did that, and even though he'd drink late at night, he'd wake up very early in the morning, and he would clean up his house, you know, make his bed, go out, do side jobs, go make a deck for somebody, make some money, whatever. But he had a boat in, he liked boating. He had a boat in Lake Michigan and a boat in Hawaii. And he would live here in this Midwest area during the summer and go boating all the time. And then, and when winter came, he would go to Hawaii and live there. So he avoided winter. He'd live on his boats, live on the beach, drink, party, have fun, whatever. So the way he died was in 2014, when he was 65, I believe he was 65, he was walking back from drinking and back to his boat, and he fell off the dock and he drowned. And there's other information there, like he was with an ex at the time and all that, but we're not going to get into that because it doesn't matter, it's not relevant. But wow, it's already 7. That's crazy. It's already 7. This was a good day. This is very fast. We made a lot of money. So that was how he died, and which is very unusual, because he was doing the two things he was best at, which was drinking and boating. And he's even saved people from drowning before. Like there's a thing called an undertow where if you're in the water and you're standing, you can walk out on what is called a bank. And usually there's beaches, they rope it off, but you get to a certain point to where if you keep going, you can't feel the ground. And then the bank, which is where the sand is at underneath you, will go to a certain point and then it'll just drop off. And if you go past that drop off point, you will get sucked down. There's a suction that happens, and it's called an undertow. You'll swim, and go boom. And a lot of people drown there. And he taught me this because he saved a father and the father's son one time in his life. Because a lot of people, like their son, they'll be on a boat or whatever, and then their son or daughter, whatever, kid, I don't really remember the specifics, but 1867 market 19. Let's try 18. Let's try 1857. A lot of people will see their children go down in the undertow, and then they'll jump in to try to save them, and then they'll go down in it, and then it's no good for everybody. So that's where a life raft is important. So he saw this happening, he threw out the life raft, was able to save the father, the son, whatever. That's a story. I don't know if it's true, but that's the story that I was told. So I learned that. So it's crazy that he knows all this stuff and still drown, while basically being an expert on that and being an expert on swimming and boating and all that. But that's the way he went. And for most of us, we looked at it like, yeah, that's crazy and that's stupid, but he died in Hawaii doing what he loved. So like, if you're gonna die, that's not a bad way to go. So fast forward to more recently, I've had several therapists, but a very good one recently told me that, like for drinking, just because one of your parents was an alcoholic, it doesn't mean you're going to be one, but it means that the chances of you not being one is lower because you learn habits as a child from your parents. So I drink. I do consider myself an alcoholic, undiagnosed. And I used to be worse. Several years ago, I used to be a lot worse than I am now. But I do think with everything I've learned from YouTube and the internet and therapy and other people and personal experience and practice and whatnot, that I've gained a bit of a control over it. And sometimes I bounce around between I'm never gonna drink again to even just saying that sounds crazy, because I don't want to say that, because it's if I could control it, which sometimes I can and sometimes I cannot, then it's okay. But who knows? That's my own personal battle. And even just saying this out loud to the world sounds like, if you look in from the outside, you might be like, oh yeah, dude, you need to stop. I don't know. Because I go through phases. I go through phases where I do it a lot and phases where I don't do it at all, and phases where I do just a little bit. But I'm usually able to recognize where I'm at a point to where it's getting too much and I have to slow down or stop. So having that bit of self-awareness is very helpful to me with my problem. So asking 64.5, market 67.1. So we're going to try 64. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That time it worked. So that's the end of the day. She's going to buy more stuff. Maybe, hopefully. Okay, there we go. When you see the bag, they're buying something. Grab a card. Alright. So that would bring me to the next piece of that subject, and I'm looking over here, I've written that down because I haven't. Another thing I've realized while watching my videos is I need to look at the camera more, which a part of that is just comfortability, and a part of that is I'm playing a game and I'm doing all these things, so I'm looking down and my camera's on the top. So maybe if I was able to get a new one or change the where I have it placed at the bottom, I could look at it easier, and that's not a bad idea. But the second thing I would say, because I was trying to go through this talking about my alcoholism in a sort of a timeline sort of order, but I'm still trying to be a little bit general because I don't want to just give out my entire life. But the second piece would be drinking with friends and at a young age. And a lot of this stuff I might have said before, so if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to focus, and on this video I'm talking about alcohol specifically. However, it's nighttime and I don't want to waste any time standing around, and I do have to make this a short video, so I'm going to just go through my normal routine. So first, I need to build this habit, even in my personal life, is looking at my bills before we spend any money. So we're at 4 days, that's 300. We could probably go to day 3. That's usually what I like to do when I'm making more money in this game. But if we can stay left over with 200, 250, 300 at the end of this, that would be best. Because tomorrow, it's going to go up. So we could use, I don't know if I need another one of these, and this is very cheap, so we could always buy one tomorrow. It's like 20 bucks or something. I'm just going to put up another card right now. And like I said before, cards are something I don't really change the price on when I do my nighttime routine, just because they sell and we go and they sell and we go. But I will get to a point where I hire somebody to be at the register, and I believe I said this before, where I specifically want to hire this guy because he's very fast at the register, and a lot of these other people are just really not worth the money because you always have to fill in for them, whereas this guy is, he's almost as fast. Like I don't, before I did not get to like this dude, like very fast, but having somebody early on that's very fast at checkout is very crucial. So that's why I'm kind of waiting before I hire somebody to hire this dude. We have to be level 25 or level 15, so it's a little bit ways to go. But I can kind of handle this small shop, and I still have more space in here. I can put more stuff, change stuff, whatever. So when he's here, I can bounce around through this, I can fill up stuff more, I can change, I can actually edit the pricing and be more accurate on my card pricing and, you know, stuff like that. So inventory order, I'm not going to do that. We need big blues. We don't need this. This did not sell. That's unfortunate. So we'll lower the price tomorrow, even though it's already on sale. Maybe get closer to the costs just to move it, because if I recall from my last video or so, it's been difficult to move that. And I didn't research this at all, and I probably won't, but I don't think that the sale signs matter. I think these are just decoration for you. I don't think that these have any effect. If they do, maybe it's on the reviews, which we haven't checked in a while, so we can check those. Good stuff, good prices. Oh shit, I need a lighter. Alright, hold on. Okay, so good stuff. Prices very good. 555. Cheap, cheap. We're on day 17. Cheap, best shop. So 5s and 4s. Cozy. I think that's something that they say when it's like you have a lot of stuff in a small area, but you don't want it to be too cramped. A lot of reviews. Staff is friendly. Okay, maybe that comes from the little sales I make with them, the little trades. A lot of dice purchases, so we could add a new dice set. A lot of comments on being cheap. We made a good amount of money, so we're gonna keep our margins where they're at. Cool. So we need, let's just build this as we go. I'm not gonna buy one of these yet. Even, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just buy one, because it is a very cheap thing to buy. $23. Oh, we already know we need a big blue. We don't need this, so we need a big orange. We need a small orange box. We don't even have the big one yet. I'm not going to buy that. It's not selling like that. And then from here, we could use red dice. I could almost turn this into a dice station, but we're still selling this. And these are still for sale, so we have to drop the price on these and not make any more yet. So if I bring that over here, bring these down, don't buy the other figurine and do the new dice set, because in the reviews a lot of people are buying dice. I think that's a way to go. So that's red, blue, and then if we move that, we're going to need another row of these, so that's purple. Okay, purple, 32. Let me think about this. 32, 32, 32, so it's only going to fill up half, so we could, how much is the big one? 900. Definitely not going to happen. So let's do this. Let's buy 2, because I don't want to spend the 900 yet on that. That was stupid to buy 2, but it is what it is. And then we're going to come back to the dice, and now we're going to spend 50 on this. Look at this. These are so cheap. 190. And then we're going to dodge the other figurine. We could fill the other spot on the wall with it and move all the dice over there. 230 is expensive, but we did sell them. So yeah, let's just do it. So let's go with this. 1009, and we have some left over. We can pay some bills, so let's just go ahead and do that. 297 at the end is not bad. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna move these, because I want to put all the dice over here. I think, did I buy a red? Shit, no, so I still have to buy a red. Okay, that sucks. I forgot about that. Yeah, well, we only lost another $5, so that's okay. So let's move these down to here. We want to move them here, but we're going to grab these dice, move them here. Grab all these. We're going to put that there. And we're going to fill up another 32 here so we can go like this. No, these have to be their own row. Okay, so we just have to do this for now. Blue is going to take up 2 spots. So we can go blue, blue. Move these down here. Let's just put these in the box for now. We really have to lower the price on these and on these for sure, because they did not sell. Okay, so let's start loading shit up. So we have black dice. Maybe these should go on the shelf so we can fit more. Well, let's do this first. Let's get the orange card 64. Nope, that's not at all what I meant to do. I meant to grab the purple one. That's okay, because these are cards that we can open up during the day. And we still have more. So look for the purple one. Okay, 32, that's what I thought. So that's full. So we're gonna be smart. We're gonna fill just 1 spot. Okay. Now another small thing. Oh, we bought 2 of them. Nice. Okay, cool. We might have a lot of overflow. That's okay. There's always shelf space when you're smart about your purchasing. Because like we can even condense those blues if we wanted to. We're saving dice because we haven't decided on where we're going to put those yet. Same with these. Because I think... Do you get more dice in a box? How do I see? 16. It's the same. But we have more dice options. So I'm not sure it matters because we have a lot of the orange figurine as well. Okay, last one. Okay, so whatever we have more of, so the shelf space is 1 tiny little spot. We fucked up. We went too hard on the paint on this. So we can save the cards to go through them. We don't really have to put these up. I could use another little rack. It's 200, we can't do it. It's 150, we can't do it. So we're gonna have to start the day with stuff on the side. But for now, we can either condense the blues or move some of these over as well. But we need a box. And I didn't save one. Wow, I really fucked up here, didn't I? Oh, wow, nice. Always save a box, always save a box. Wow, okay. So let's condense these first. Because these 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 32, 32, so this is full, this is full. We're probably gonna do both. Let's just see what happens. We'll just grab a whole set here, 32, and then we'll actually move everything to the top just to make it easier for my brain. 32, 32. Okay, so we have some left on these. We can go through these as well. That's going to help us with our bulk packs, which we have to reduce the price on anyways. And then we have, let's do this. I need a box, so let's just go through these real quick. Maybe save 2 boxes, I don't know. I'm not an expert at anything. Yeah, in the beginning, it's a lot better to set yourself up at night. That's why I'm mostly talking about this right now, because during the day it's just making transactions and whatnot. Okay, so we have a box. So we're gonna move these to here. We're gonna move all these down below. When I look at a shop, I like it to look easy as easy as possible for the customer. So if we're gonna repeat that, we would move these here and these down here, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. No, these have to go. Okay, so but then we're gonna need another box. But we can make this work. Because these are gonna go here and then these are gonna come down. So we bought too much stuff. But we have a little bit of a better organization here. So then up here we can put something, and then there's not really a purpose to continue it there. So what we can do is keep these down here because they have more. Take the other box, do this. We're playing Tetris now. Put it here. Take the main box of these, take them off. So we have almost a full box of these. And then we've got cards, boxes, boxes, cards, cards, something, right? So we have 2 spots here. So let's pick something big, like these reds, these red dice. We can do a whole spot here, I think. Box has nothing. Okay. And then down here we could do a full spot as well. So we have an empty box. And we're going to do that with the other big thing, which we could do another dice set. Blue is not complete. We could go black. It's a new item. No, let's keep new items over here. Let's go with this, because this is something that also sells. Okay. So now we have black, blue, red. So let's take off, because we want variety in a store. Let's take blue off. We already have a lot of red up there. So let's package this, put it away somewhere for now. Black, blue, red. So we're going to take red off. Nope. Package it, put it away. Black, package it, put it away. So any spots that we run out on, we're going to throw up what we have in the store. So now let's put these up. Whoops. Okay. And now we have a whole other spot. Red is only 2. Oh, these orange guys right here. Let's just put these here. And then anything that we're overstocked on, we're just going to run a very low price on. And then we have our empty box. Put it back. This is what we're going to pull from tomorrow. Try to keep stuff out of the way of walking. And then storage, we're going to go just put it all over here. Fuck it. We're spending too much time now. We need to really start the next day. Keep clicking the wrong buttons. So we're pretty much fully stocked. Oh, I forgot I could change this. You know what? Let's do it. Let's use our space as much as possible. So we'll just start with this one. So we have one more spot. So it's kind of stupid. I definitely overbought on inventory. That's okay. I had to buy boxes of stuff. I wanted to put up new stuff. We have extra money. It's not a big deal. But now what we're doing is we're micromanaging where we're putting stuff. It's not going to be too pretty. We made this look a lot better. So as people pass through here, it's cards, boxes, dice, boxes, cards, figurine, cards. They come over here, it's several different items. So a lot of different options in different areas. So what we could put over there is probably just whatever we have the most of. So it's going to be these 8 black, and we only have some down there. So that's not a bad thing. We sell more of these dice than anything. Okay. Let's go through one more pack of these, and then we'll set prices and then start the next day. Okay, prices, I'm going to start here with this one. We're at $2, 10%. So I think what we're doing is 10% on everything. And then we're going to look at the end and see what we have too much of and then lower that even more. I'm not paying attention if it changed right now. On these, we're going to lower it again. So we're at 16. So right now it's 20. Average cost is 15. So if we go down to 16. Let's keep it at 16. Because I don't want to lose money. So we did that, we did that. These we have to go down. Cost is 0, but that's not really true because we put in a lot of 50-cent cards. You know, let's say it was average 50 cents. Let's even say 60 cents. So 0.60 times 100 cards. That's $60. That doesn't, you know what I mean? So this situation is a little weird, but this is kind of offloading the cards that you're not going to put up. So 10's already cheap. Market price is $9.99. Let's just go market price and see if anything changes. Now we might change this in the middle of the day. These 10%, these 10%, everything 10%. And we did these over there, but whatever. Now look at what we have. We're not going to bring these down more because we're going to keep going through these through the day. But we have red figurines. Instead of 10%, we're going to do market. We have blue dice. Instead of 10%, we're going to do market. We have red dice. Instead of 10%, we're going to do market. So I think that's kind of the vibe here. We pulled cards, we did pricing, we lowered this, lowered the blue boxes. Everything should be straightened up for the next day. So let's go ahead and get on with it. Okay. So the next subject is drinking with friends. So immediately I have a core memory. In our teen years, we had a friend group in high school, of course, and I might have talked about this before, but we had a friend whose mother was always gone, and the father let us go into the garage, even underage, which, you know, small town Indiana is like okay, not okay. Like some states it's okay, some it's not. Wisconsin, definitely okay. Other countries, definitely okay. Like there's no drinking age at some other countries, so there's a little bit of gray area there. But we would go and we started playing Pong, and we started with liquor, and that increased to more liquor because we did it wrong. You know, we didn't do it the way that most people play. So some of us are still drinking to this day. And I think we started at like 16 or 17 doing that, which is very young. And then that proceeded into getting older, and later in teen years, $9.98 for a 1277. No. Sorry. Maybe if I'm filthy fucking rich, dude. I'm like, what? Okay, we need to put one of those in. I'm always checking these. We don't want any stinkies in here. No stinkies allowed. Get through this little morning rush right here. So yeah, so that proceeded into getting older, and even though we were like the loser group of friends, we started to throw house parties, and we were successful with some were not, and then we would go to other house parties, which I don't know if other countries experience this, but if you're young and you're in America and you're going to house parties and music and drinking and girls and guys and high school and whatever, like that shit, those are some of the best memories you'll ever make. Yeah, it's stupid, it's dangerous, don't do it, but fun times. And most young people go through that. So there was a lot of that, and especially in rural, you know, America, Midwest America, maybe more than other parts of America. I don't know, I could be wrong. That's just what I've experienced. It could be all of America, but that's just what I've experienced. So you go from starting very young, starting at like high levels of alcohol, to the typical, you know, early 20s, low teen ages of parties and whatnot. So you just keep going, and we all have memories of like waking up in yards, and a lot of I feel like I puked more as a kid than I do now, and maybe that's just because my body wasn't ready or I did too much, I don't know, but I think that's a common trope as well. But that was a lot of like the early 20s. And then, sorry, I've just realized I have to fill my cards over there, so we're going to take a brief pause as we're moving on to the next subject. Oh, what did I do? 25, 45, minus 1, 44. $28, so we need to start going through those rare cards to get some better cards up here. Now that we have like an abundance of cards to pick through. Nice. You see, now we sold these. That dude just bought 4. That's very good. We're gonna go through some cards real quick. So in my mid-20s to late 20s, I was very fortunate to develop mentors and keep like just going really hard on working jobs, and eventually I got into a sales job, and this was in the automotive industry. So it's a lot of travel, a lot of going around, a lot of speaking to older men, and a lot of that in the sales industry and automotive in America, it's very old school, and most of those people, they just drink a lot. Like you would be, and you're trying to make sales, you're trying to not only get more money for yourself, but impress your boss and like bring in more money for your company. So you're gonna drink. Sometimes you would go out and you're gonna do a sales call, and you're gonna meet the other company's sales guy, and you're gonna meet at a restaurant or a bar, and you're gonna have drinks and then go do the sales call. You know, you get more liquid courage or confidence, as you call it, from alcohol. And then you're going to do that, and then you felt good about it, so you're going to go have more and whatnot, and it just tends to spiral out of control. So a lot of those sales guys, especially in the automotive industry, and it could be all sales industries, but that's my experience is automotive, it's just a lot of drinking. It's a lot. And I remember a quote, something that was told to me from my father's ex girlfriend at the time's son, who was very, very successful in business. And me and a friend were legal driving age, but not drinking. We went to go pick him and his also successful friend up from a bar because they were visiting on business stuff. And I remember asking him while we were driving in the car, like, what is one piece of advice you can give to a young entrepreneur, somebody who's young, who wants to do business? And it's so funny and stupid. And he said, learn how to handle your alcohol, because you're always going to be drinking. You're going to be drinking with business. You're going to be drinking with friends. You're going to be drinking with customers. It's just the way it goes. Learn how to handle your alcohol. So that was a period in which I transitioned. I really took that to heart. And I probably went to YouTube and did research and practiced and whatnot. And really learned different ways in which I could just not, be stupid and young and drink like way too much and puke. Because you don't want to puke if you're trying to do sales. So that was a huge piece of advice. So it continued even further. I'm like really rushing. I should probably have made more topics, but I kind of did this last minute. But I'm really rushing through these. So I'm gonna, I guess, take another pause here, because I kind of want to do one more day. And in that last day, instead of just playing the game, I want to talk about what I believe is the last topic. So I'm just going to kind of focus on the game real quick for a little bit. But you can kind of see the elevation throughout my life, from me being around a father who drinks, to drinking early in my early teens, and then later teens, early 20s, parties, whatnot, which a lot of people go through, but there's definitely an elevation to it. And then you can kind of fast forward to now, which I will talk about in the next day, because I do want to play one more day. Because like I said, today was difficult for me at my real life job. And dude, come on, really? I want to... Oh, hello. Alright, goodbye. Oh, he's gonna buy stuff. He just wanted to give me a kiss. Thank you for the deal. Yeah. I might do a second version of talking about drinking. It's something I have a lot of experience on, for sure. So I can talk a little bit about, I was going to talk about where I'm at now, but you know what, I can talk about some in-betweens a little bit here. When I was doing that sales job, that's when like my drinking like really became out of control. So I started really doing it at home more. Like, yeah, I'm doing it now, so I'm doing it at home. But that's when like I still had a little bit of little kid, like little youngness of drinking, where you don't really know your limits and how to control it. And then being young in a highly professional environment where everybody's drinking carried over into home life, and then being young and dealing with like relationship problems. And 433 market 405. We're gonna try 4. If you don't like it, we're gonna go 405. Okay, cool. I'm being nice on that one. I could have gone lower. So I'm trying to remember the years, but so okay, so it was 2019 was my worst year of drinking. Maybe now currently is my worst year of drinking, but I do feel like I have a lot more control, so I'm not going crazy. So like 2019 is I was very smart, so I learned what my drink is, which is margaritas, and even right now it's like the alcoholics drink, so it's tequila cut with water and lime. But that's so I can lose weight and still do it, which is stupid. Don't do that. But I was still doing that sales job, so the height of my drinking, and I was going through a bad situation with an ex, and I had my own personal self-hatred issues, and she was cheating a lot, and I didn't ever do anything about it. I just went through it, and it was difficult for me. And father stuff, you know, my father was dead, but this is during the time, like, I think right after my sister had died. So I was just like, if I wasn't drinking during the job, I was drinking probably even more like at home. Okay, here we go. 140 for a 184, so we're gonna try 140. Since we're now offering lower, it's only a little bit lower, but we're making moves. People are buying the cards. Let's load some more up before it's 9. Big one. Small one. All right. It's the next day, but you never know. They might spend some money before they leave. So, 2019, which isn't that too far away, I was still at that job. The height of the job, I was the sales director at that point, so I had reached the top, and I had it. This was 2020 is when COVID was announced, so this was right before COVID, I believe, early 2020. So my recipe, margaritas, and I was very heavy, so I would drink a lot, eat a lot, which I still do now, but I've learned a lot too. So I've learned how to manage it better, not drink so much that I black out so that I can still go to work the next day, so on and so forth, which is what a functioning alcoholic is, which I learned from my father. But okay, I keep bouncing around it. So basically I would do, this is crazy to say, which is probably why I'm nervous to say it, anywhere from 5 to 8, and I was very big. I think close to 300 at this point. I don't think I was still over. I think I had lost some, but high 200s. So my body could take in a lot of stuff. So I could take in a lot of alcohol and then still be okay. And then because I would eat a lot too throughout the day and then after and whatnot. So when I say this number, this is not normal for normal sized people. This is what it took for me to black out, which is what I was doing, because I very much so hated myself at this point. I was trying to black out, which if you've never experienced blacking out, don't do it. It's the same way people talk about drugs. If you've never done a very serious drug, just don't do it. Just don't. Like, live your life without ever experiencing that. And if other people talk shit about that, don't talk to those people. Because anybody who's gone through that stuff and then kept doing it will come back and tell you, I wish I never even started doing that. So I essentially became addicted to blacking out. And it was, I think, 5 to 8 margaritas. And my recipe back then, which is still the same as now, but not literally today, because recently I've been doing water with tequila. And I would always try to be cheap. So it would be, I don't know if I can say names on here. So I'm going to say Letters. But it's a cheap company that's pretty decent, but it's very cheap. So JC Blanco, so white tequila, mixed with JC premix, which is like the margarita mix that also has tequila. So usually most people do one or the other. They either do tequila with the non-alcohol premix, or they do just the premix. They don't double up on the alcohol. I was doubling up, and I would do about 5 to 8 of those a night for, let's say, 5 to 7 nights a week. I always needed like one day to recover, because it was just too much. I was trying to black out every night. So something like that, like 5 to 7 nights, 5 to 6, something like that, which is bad. And I did that for the whole year of 2019. And then starting in 2020, not really starting, but that's when COVID was happening. And I think I was at a party around that time, because during the beginning of 2020, people, like, COVID was announced, but it wasn't as crazy as it got in like the middle of the year. Whereas it's like, if you go hang out with other people, like, you're a bad person and all that. So we were still hanging out, and I was way overboard, and I was at a party with friends, staying the night, and I, of course, had enough to black out, because that was what I was doing. And they had ordered pizza in the party, and this is so stupid. I hate even saying it. I'm just going to be honest and transparent. I think transparency is my recipe for this channel. So I was completely obliterated, and everybody else was either drunk or chill. And for some reason, I took a piece of pizza and I put it on a plate, and I started just like punching the pizza. And that was a moment in which my best friend at the time realized, like, oh, like, yeah, I knew Cody drank a lot, but like, this is actually a problem. And my plan was to stay the night at his house. So we drove to his house. And the whole ride there, he didn't talk to me. I knew something was wrong. And he knew, because I've probably done this before, that I would like get to his house and like lie about some shit and try to like get my keys and go sleep somewhere else. So we got to his house. He gave me my little room or whatever, which I'm very blessed for all that. And he took my keys, but I didn't know it. He wouldn't let me leave. And this person was so strong. He was always so strong. And I've never seen him be emotional like this. And even though in my drunken, half blackout state, I was like trying to leave, and he knew I was looking for my keys, because he knew I'd wait till like he went to sleep to like just dip out. And we had a moment where he started crying, and he's like, you're not going to leave. Like, I'm not going to tell you where your keys are at. And I lied. It's like, oh, I gotta work at this time. He's like, no, you don't. You know what I mean? Like, he knew everything. He's like, you're not gonna leave. 0% chance. And he went into his life, and he had an uncle or something that died because of alcohol and this and that. He's like, you have a real problem. He's like, you have an actual real problem. You have to change. And I knew it. And this was like the end of like the year, a whole year of like the worst year. And in that moment, I said, okay. He was crying, I was crying. He went into his life, I went into my life, my sister, my dad, and all this. And like, we had like a real friend to friend, brother to brother moment. I'm like, okay, I'll stay. And I was like, you're right. I remember this. I was like, I have to change. And I was like, tomorrow will be the first day that I won't drink, and I will not drink for a year. I think a part of me was already planning this, but it was this light switch that my friend forced upon me, and I'm still, we don't even talk anymore, but I'm still blessed to this day that he did that for me. I will never ever forget that this person, this other human, saw what was going on with me, grabbed me, and said, you're done. And I'm like, okay, tomorrow, and this is like May, so that's already a few months into 2020, May, March, something like that. I'm like, okay, tomorrow, starting tomorrow, I will not drink for a year. And I was smoking weed and maybe doing some other drugs too. So I'm like, well, hold on. I'm like, the first 3 months, I won't do anything. I'll be completely sober. And then after that, I might smoke weed or whatever, but for an entire year, I will not drink. And I didn't do it because that moment was so gripping. It was so shocking to me that I thought about it every time I wanted to do it. And I don't know, I wanted to make this episode short, but we're going to continue because this story right here is enough. And then I can lead into my last part. I didn't expect this to be enough, but I just kind of started rambling because my last part is about a little bit talking about like not where I'm at now. But it's the end of the day, and I really don't want to waste time standing here, but that moment changed me, and 100% for that entire year, for the year of 2020, which is one of the most difficult years in this country because COVID got crazy, and I know it was worse in other countries, I know, but I did not drink for that year. And I'm going to tell you what I went through during that process, which was impossibly hard. But I did it. And that's for me just as great as an accomplishment as losing 165 pounds, like total weight that I've lost. But like going from being an obese person to now where I'm just kind of fat. Like equally as great of an accomplishment to say that I went one whole year without drinking. So let me finish the day here because I want to get through my nighttime routines and not just stand here and talk and like waste the video on just standing here. So let me just do that real quick. So first, inventory order. Let's look at all the shit. Well, let me fill this. So I guess the cards are first, because we do be selling them. 1,400, so we got another bank of money, and we paid bills yesterday, so we're at day 7. And if we got the extra money, fuck it, pay them. Why not? Why wait up for no reason? I would love this to be all sleeves, just because I like how it looks, but if we have to do overflow, we will, or we can buy, finally, a second rack and put that here, but let's see where we're at. So on the extra shit, we sold a lot of the blacks. Nothing here. Nothing on blues. We sold almost all of our sprays. That's crazy. So we got to buy more of those. Blues. Less than half. Reds. About half. All of the blue boxes. So now we can come back to the normal price. or just mark it because I'm insane and I don't think this sign means anything, but I want to kind of be true to it, and just not put that 10%. These are the same. So anything, so as I continue to the next day, anything I sold nothing of, I lower the price on the next day because I want to keep moving my inventory. Because if it just sits on the shelf for multiple days, that's not good. Because the faster I can move the inventory I currently have, like that's more profit for the business, or at least less expense. Because if I just let it sit and sit and sit because I'm not willing to move on my price, then it's not being sold. It's cash flow. You want to sell, 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 sell. So as long as I'm not going below my cost, which is negative, that's a sin. You just don't do that. But you can sell at your cost as long as your bills are paid and you're making money on other stuff. So that's like a very, very, very basic rule of thumb. On these, we sold less than half, and I think I still have more, so we're not going to buy any of those. On these, we sold less than half, so we can draw on those. On those, we can condense, and we're okay on that. We have leftover blues, reds, and then more of the oranges, so we can expand on that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Because I want to move black here, I can take these and put these over here, bring these down to 1 or more, or have some left over and go through them. So I think first I'm going to move stuff before I buy, because I don't like buying and then doing that. I think that's where I bought too much the first time. So if we move cards here, move these here. Oh, there's only one left. Okay, we'll put one here. Because I want to move all the purples down if I can. I don't think I can, but this is something that I'm okay with having leftovers in. Because cards are something you can always go throughout the day. Because you're going to make money on them, whether you get low ones and build... Oh, did we sell boxes? We sold one. That's unfortunate. Maybe we need to make some higher level boxes, but that's going to take up another space. So maybe I do need to buy another rack. So let's fill this up. Okay, so we're full on that. Let's grab this here. Let's just grab this real quick and fill these up. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and buy the rack first, because I definitely feel like I'm going to need it. I don't feel like I have to change the table. We're getting very consistent table cells. We're at what is it? 7. So maybe we go up to, let's say, 650, and let's just see what happens. But this is bringing in a lot of people. So yeah, let's just do 650 and just see if that changes anything. And then now we're going to I want to move these. Did I buy the other rack? Okay, I did. So we have all of those there. We'll keep an empty box here. Put this up. So we have that like right against where we're at here. Oh, I just fucked that up. Shit. Okay. I'm just gonna bring it a little bit closer so we have more space in this corner for supplies. Okay, that's okay. So let's move these back. I'm moving these in a way that I can see them very easy. So if we go all dice on 1, which we're going to have red, extra red, blue, black, we can do that. And then we can move these over here and do another one and then do the spray. Or put the dice in the front since those sell a lot more. So let's start with red. And then we'll go blue. And then, do I have more blue, more black? I have 2 red. Okay, we can actually put those up. That's nice because that gets rid of a box. And then we have more blue. And then black is a whole shelf. Oh yeah, this is very good. Okay, so let's bring this down here. So we need spray. Oh, we got 3 more blacks. Shit. Okay. So let's just take these and bring them here. Because I have some money and no bills, so I can buy something new. So we can go 2 boxes on this. We can... Where does this go? Figurines. Oh, we can bring those over here. Do I have orange ones? I do. Shit. Because technically I need 2 spots. I need 3 spots because if I'm going to do a better version of those boxes. Let's just keep this here. And then we'll order inventory and then we'll move 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1, 2. Damn. So we need blue boxes. Okay, let's see what I can do here. Because if I can get purple boxes, I feel like that, oh, level 16. Fuck me, dude. I can't buy anything more for cards at this point besides more cards. We can buy more sleeves. Figurines, 900 is very expensive. These are 500. Another dice set, which seems to be selling. Let's add a whole new item and go sleeves. We're gonna buy this. We're gonna buy 2 of these. And then, so we're gonna go sleeves, new item, here, and then bring these down to here. Bring the new one down to here, because we're gonna open up a bunch of packs. And then overflow, we have 2, so we can bring this down over there. And then, so we need blue boxes, so we can go. The blue cards we're selling more. We didn't sell any of these, or any of these. That's unfortunate. So we're selling more blue cards, so we can expand on those. So we can just buy blue boxes, buy 4, buy 2 big boxes of blue cards, and then do a sale on blue cards and blue boxes. Do some overspill over here. 1, 2. Just leave the spray. We're gonna use it here tomorrow, I think. So we're gonna do these, do a rare one or whatever, do a new item, and then overspill, overflow, whatever. So we need 2 big blues, 1 blue box. Let's see where we're at. Because we're gonna buy 2 of these, 2 big blues, 1 blue box, 302. So we can buy the big blue box. And then let's see, what we have, 436. The new card sleeves 40. That's a lot. 20. So maybe we go one on these and condense them and do the new one in the new side, and we can buy 2 of these and just kind of figure that out. Basic card 2, basic card box 1, big one, 449. Let's go with that. Have some actual money left over for once. So if we do what we want to do, which is sleeves and sleeves, that's 32. This is not going to be quite all the way, but that's all right. Let's save this for now. More blue basics. Let's fill up what we have. More sleeves. Nice, I did buy more. Okay, we'll take this. Okay, we're doing good. So we want to put this over here, but let's move this first. So we're gonna have extra of these. We're gonna pull a lot of cards on this last day here, because I have a few extra of these now. So I have all 3 cards. This is my extra box right now. Blue boxes. The only reason why I bought more of those is just because I had the money, to be honest. These always sell. I'm not too worried about having extra of these, and they're also like one of the cheapest items. So we have 2 things over here that are actual backstock. This we're going to use at some point tomorrow. We have 3 cards to pull from. That's that. So I think that's pretty well set. So let's pull a bunch of cards and then see what we can fill up here, because everything else is pretty full. But I'm gonna be right back. Alright, I'm back. So I'm over-exaggerating a little bit on this last night here, because I want this last day to be the end of the episode, because it's already gone on for far too long. But I do think, you know, now that I've been thinking about it, I need to differentiate between the just chilling episodes and the real talk episodes. I don't know how I'm gonna cut that up. Maybe the description or the title, I'm still figuring that out, even though I've done quite a few at this point. But maybe I'll never stop figuring that out, because I really want to provide what I think is there's 2 things at play here. One is I'm trying to learn about the YouTube algorithm and work it to be in the favor of this channel, to put it in front of people that actually like this kind of stuff, which is the entire job of the algorithm. But also, like, I want you to look at this even before you open it and click on it and think about, this is something I want to watch. Because if you don't, then don't watch it. But I've realized now that I have episodes where I am just chilling, and episodes, or just chilling, man, you know what I mean? Or episodes where I'm having some real talk. So maybe in the title or the description, I'll differentiate. But This one will be a little bit of both, but mostly real talk. But right now we are just chilling because I want to get everything straightened out so that way the next day we're going to open up a lot of packs. And we're going to open up a lot now because I have to finish figuring out my shelves before I set pricing. And I do have to hurry up because if this was real life, this would have been like 12 o'clock or 1 a.m. at this point, and I have to get home to my family in this game. So, but the shelves are full. So let's, I think before we set pricing, just get through this part here. Which I can talk a little bit now. I just wanted to save the last point for this. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot where I was last at, but I knew that I was working towards the end of what I wanted to say, which is where I'm at now. So I've done a lot of therapy, and I had a really good therapist recently that, and I think I said this before as well, but recently told me that I would say probably the best pieces of advice that he gave to me towards drinking is this. You know, because he asked me in the beginning, what do you want to do? Do you want to completely stop, or do you want to like reduce it and have better control over it? And I told him I'm not ready to stop. Just being honest, like if you're gonna have a therapist, if you're gonna pay for a professional to help you the same way as the doctor, they cannot really help you unless you're like more than 100% honest. They need all of the information. So I said, I'm not ready to stop. I have plans on stopping. I think maybe when children are involved in my life, I'll stop, or at least at that point, I would like to reduce it to a point to where I'm a regular person with drinking. So he said, okay, well, nice. So we just finished a box. Wow, that's fast. Maybe we just get through all these. Fuck it. So he said, drinking is not a need, it's a want. And when you have that moment in your mind where we're not getting any good pulls, I would love to get the biggest card, 1,000, 2,000. Man, I remember playing before, probably not even day 18, because I was on day 100 something, where I had $3,000 cards and stuff like that. So anyways, he was like, it's not a want, or sorry, it's not a need, it's a want. So you have to remind yourself, and this goes back to what I said before with self-awareness. So he's like, change your paradigm. I'm like, okay, bet. But self-awareness comes into play of recognizing that moment when it happens in your head of thinking about drinking and realizing that it's not a need, it's a want. Nobody needs to drink. Nobody needs. It's like, oh, today was hard at work, I need to have a drink. No. Nobody needs to drink. It's poison. Wow, I thought that was a lot. We just ripped through that and got nothing good. So I think this has nothing in it. So this is my empty box. So, oh wow, so I have nothing here. But I do have more money. So let's see what we got here. One of these, 31 and 4. So we could put 4 of these up. Oh, but we're gonna save a space for that. So let's put 4 of these up. And then we'll just keep these here. This is our one for tomorrow. So I don't remember what the, okay, rarity select. Let's try this. Let's try rare. I don't think 63 cents is gonna do it. So let's just max out. Oh, $5. That's gonna be so stupid. Let's go $1. It's a white one again. Because before I never did this, so let's do any rarity, and then $1 didn't do it, but now we're losing a lot of cards, so let's just max out. There it is. That's a big one. So now let's go this 269. It's another big one. And then we're gonna stop on that because I just wasted a lot of good cards by doing this. Yeah, I just wasted a lot of good cards. Fuck. That's okay because we're pretty full on everything. It's not a need, it's a want. So when that moment in your mind happens, stop yourself and remind yourself it's a want. It's a want, and I don't want this. So it's like you force your brain to slow down for a moment. So that moment of self-awareness where you get to choose, you get to slow it down, remind yourself, alcohol, boom, I need it. Nope. It's a want, not a need. I don't want it. That changed my mind entirely on drinking, which is why now, I mean, I've already had a lot of control over it, but it's like after the, what I told you earlier of like not drinking for a year. Oh, that's where I left off. What happened during that year. So that's what I'll get into. I'm skipping a little bit, but that's very important. And I want to share that with people because for that person to tell me that, to give me that piece of information, even though it's so basic and simple and easy, that little tiny tool, that changed all of my thinking with drinking after that happened. So let me set my prices. And then, you know what? Let me just finish my train of thought. So where I'm at now is I have been drinking a lot, but I have a lot of control over it. And even so much so that my diet is fairly revolved around it, which is probably unhealthy. But like I'm eating nuts that help with the liver, because the liver is the concern with drinking. Like obviously drinking fucks up your relationships, your work, your productivity, everything, but your own personal health being the number one thing. Once you destroy your liver, you can't go back, and it can get to a point to where you can die. So now I have a lot more control over my drinking, the way that I drink, the drink that I drink, how many I drink, but my diet is, I've catered it towards that. It's a liver supporting diet and a high fiber diet and a relatively low calorie, low carb diet. And I'm not recommending that. I'm not an expert. I prefer low carb when I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to lose weight right now. So I'm doing a lot of nuts, not a lot of nuts because they're very high calorie, but specific nuts like almonds and walnuts, stuff that supports your liver. I like to have a lot of leafy greens. Like some really huge ones are spinach, kale, and then there's other stuff like carnivorous vegetables like broccoli. I always have tomatoes, antioxidants, various fruits. Because I also drink a gallon of water a day or more, which is very good if you're losing weight, but you have to know that when you drink that much, you're peeing a lot and you're peeing out a lot of your nutrients in your body. So I try to put a lot of those back in. So I'm doing a lot of vitamins through fruit. So kiwis for I think vitamin C, bananas, potassium, the blueberries, the tomatoes, whatever, that's, antioxidants, whatever. So a lot of, and I have avocados, which are good for everything that they have, along with very helpful for somebody who has a very high potential of testicular cancer. And I change what I'm eating, but right now I might do like a recipe sometime, but I don't think I'll do it on this channel because I just really don't want to change too much of what I'm doing. for this channel, but I created a stew when I went on that camping trip before I moved and changed my life, because it's all I had. And it was salmon, frozen salmon, tomatoes, onions, garlic, and like salt and pepper and jalapenos, because that's just all I had in my fridge, so I brought it. And I was just like, fuck it, throw it all together. And what's really cool about having a lot of tomatoes is that creates like a lot of the water in that is the water within your stew, but also having the acidity plus all the fat from the salmon balances out the spices from the jalapenos. So it's not that hard to eat, and there's a lot of vitamins within that. So I've been doing that with the vegetables and the fruit that I labeled, and some of the nuts and whatnot. And that's been most of my diet lately. And sometimes I'll have a burger or pizza or tacos or whatever I want to have, because another thing I've learned with weight loss is, especially being addicted to food and being a binge eater, is, and this is in that book that I told you I was going to tell you before, which I'll just look it up as soon as I'm done saying this and tell you, because I forgot to tell you before. I think it's from this book. If not, it's from YouTube or something. But like, when you're addicted to food and you're a binge eater and you're hyping up a certain food item, let's say burgers, for example, and you don't have it, 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 and you hype it up, and you think about it, and you think about it, I want it, I want it, I want it, and you keep eating salad, and then you have a burger, and then you lose control, and you just burgers. But when you first start thinking about that craving, if you just have the burger, it's very easy to go back to eating healthy. You're like, oh, I had it, I've reset my mind, I feel good still because I've been eating mostly healthy. It's very easy. But if you build it up and wait and don't do it because you're like, oh, I can't have a burger, it's so bad for me, and you keep building it up, at some point, if you're a food addict and you binge eat, you're gonna do it, and then you're gonna go overboard. So let me look up that book. Give me 1 second. I'm wasting so much time. This is gonna be a short video, but it's already a long video. That's okay. We're adding value this time. I think I have it on Audible. Oh my god, I hope I still have it. Wow, I'm not seeing it. That's unfortunate. I didn't see it. Let me just Google book. So I see one called Overcoming Bulimia and Binge Eating Disorder. Overcoming Binge Eating Disorder. I don't remember what it was called. I'm gonna have to find that and then just let you know later. But I remember it was talking about, I believe, binging and purging, which doesn't always mean bulimia, but binging could be eating. So what this girl did in this book is she would eat a lot because she was a binge eater, and then her purge was she would work out like way too crazy. Like she would spend all night eating way too much food, and then the next day she would spend hours running on a treadmill, in the gym, just like totally destroying herself, and then repeating the cycle. So I think it was, I don't remember the name. I unfortunately don't have it in my Audible anymore. I thought I did. but I'll try to find it because I keep recircling back to this. But what has worked for me is when I get that craving, I just do it because I've already been eating very healthy before that. So I do it, I eat the burger, and then it's very easy for me to go back to being healthy because I've satisfied the craving. Whereas if I personally let it build up and build up and build up and then do it, it's very hard to come back because now it's like burger, 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 fries, ice cream, soda, you know, so on and so forth. So anyways, that's a lot of the now, and then losing my train of thought. I'm losing my train of thought because I keep seeing these exclamation points. I really want to get done with this night, so let's just go through this real quick. I don't think I have any more here. We pulled a bunch of cards, so let's go through this. 10%. 10%. 10%. We're just going to run 10s on pretty much everything besides the overstock when we get there. We have new items in the shop, so that's going to be very appealing to people. We did raise the price on the table. This one, I mean, market's $9.99, but it went up. I'm just going to go with the up price for this one because we went a little too crazy. 74 is crazy. Let's just go 10% on everything. This one, yeah, you know what? Let's just go 10% on everything and just see what happens. Oh, but I'm crazy and I do have a sign on these for sale, so let's just go market on these. Okay. Oh, these. Yeah. Oh, yeah, so that year that I didn't drink, I had to, this was like one of the original, and I did say recently I went through a new phase of learning self-love. So this is one of the original ones where I wasn't drinking, so I had no escape. So when I had a problem I had to deal with, I had to look at myself in the mirror and just deal with it. I had to face it head on and deal with it because no matter what, I was not going to drink for that year, and I didn't. I did not drink. So going through that, and like I learned a lot about like, oh, depression or this problem or that problem or whatever, just going through it, and it was hard and horrible, but just going through it. And I'm trying to lose weight at this time, so I'm doing that, and my job is stressful, so I'm doing that. So going through it, that was what really helped me. Going through that was probably the best year of my life because I mentally accomplished so much just by facing my problems without using alcohol or whatever to run away from them. And that was the key. Because after that, I came back, I tried to drink a lot again, and I could not do it. Oh, she bought both. Nice, dude. Nice. So those are worth the 10%. This is going to be a big one. 200. That was the big takeaway for that year of no drinking, because by the end of it, mentally I was so sharp, and even coming back to drinking, I was just like, I didn't really want to do it, but I did it, and I was at like a more normal state of doing it. A drink here or there instead of, you know, multiple a week, multiple a night, multiple whatever. So, I don't know. I don't want to be too dark. I don't want to drag on the same subject for too long. I covered all of my talking points, but I would say if you too are struggling with any addiction, because I have multiple personally, eating, drinking, uh, drugs in the past, you know, fucking video games, like whatever, like if you're struggling with that, you are not alone. And it is very, very much best to talk to somebody about it. Anybody. The easiest people are your friends. Start with that. And like after realizing talking to other people is the recipe, this is the easiest way to get through shit. I started talking to more people at work, people on the internet that I don't even know, like friends and family, and some people reject you, and a lot of my family rejected me. I remember one time that, and I'll never forget this, that I was trying to tell my mom that I had depression and all this, and I've seen therapists and I have a emotional support animal. And she just immediately, she's like, no, you don't have depression. No, none of my children have depression. And I'm like, what? I'm like, your sister, like, died. Or sorry, my sister, your daughter died because of her mental stuff. My brother has mental stuff. And I'm sitting here trying to tell you I do. And I got so mad. I don't think I was ever this strong with my mother before. Okay, hold on, I fucked this up. Hold on. Hold on, dude. You're not getting this much money when I do 10. 13, that's it. I was like, you can think whatever you want to think, but you're not going to take this away from me. Like, me knowing who I am and what I'm dealing with and what I've fought and fought for and fought against and beat and I'm still fighting, that is my thing. That is my life, and I love it. And I love my accomplishments, and you are not. And I stopped her. And sometimes you have to set boundaries like that with your family. You are not going to take this away from me. I have depression. I have anxiety. I have panic disorder. Probably more shit. But I'm like, you're not going to take this away from me by saying you don't have it because you don't want me to have it. It doesn't matter about you. It doesn't matter about you, Mom. This is me. And I'm sharing this. At this point, I share this with everybody. I'm sharing it now. So don't don't be afraid to set boundaries. Like you'd be surprised. The people that are closest to you are often the ones that are the hardest on you. So, self-awareness. Look at yourself in the mirror. Know who you are. You have to go through your own shit by yourself, but don't isolate yourself and not talk to other people. Like that's the biggest fucking point over everything. So that's so important. That's so important. I don't want to end this on like a heavy note. So let's end the real talk conversation on that and just finish this day out making a whole bunch of fucking money in this fake ass game. 522 for 544. Let's offer 5. Cool. I should load some more cards here. You see it was 19 before, but I just edited the price again and it went up to 20. So that's why I don't really check the cards at night, because the prices do change and they do sell. And at some point I'm going to want to get another one of those, but I'm almost running out of real estate. I have a few more spaces in here. I can fit another one of these shelves right here. I can probably put something in the middle here. I don't know if I can get another one of these because I think this is 3. but I can put something maybe here, probably something over here. So we have a lot more space. And we're going to absolutely run through all of the space that we have until there's an upgrade to the building, because that costs money. And then I believe that adds more money to the rent when you have more space. Accumulated each day depending on the size of the shop. Electric bill. Wow, look at this. We're at 6 days and it's already like 200. I'm just gonna pay that now because I can. Bills go up. Life. That's life. So we're gonna need another one of those. I don't have, oh, I do have one, which we planned for. So we'll use that. These are okay. We'll load some cards while we're here. I do need some better cards. So we're gonna have to pull some from the shelf. See, that was 6 and went to 7. So what I need to do now when I'm putting cards down is just automatically update the price instead of like if it's empty, if it's already, okay. So if there's no exclamation point not doing it, now is the time to stop. So now every time I put one down, I need to update the price. And maybe this night will be the first night that I actually go through. Like, look at this 223, because we want this to be 20%. And it's 218. So that might actually cause somebody to buy it today. So, okay, it's time. We spent long enough not doing that, so it's time to actually do that. Table still fills up. We raised the price, I think, 51 cents per hour. And we're still getting business on that. So if I bought another shelf, it might be a rack because they're very small, very cheap. Are they the cheapest? No, this is at 150. Anyways, I don't need to buy it now. I like the racks a little bit better. I think it's the same size. Because this fits 32. Can I fit 32 on one of those? Let's just check this out real quick. The racks are a little bit more expensive, but you can see through them, which is very nice because you can see what's going on. Okay, you cannot fit 32, so the other one's better. Okay, well, I can't see you. Sorry. So we're going to buy more of these, but these have 3 spaces and these have 4. So if we do some math here, 3 times 32 versus 4 times, I think that was 20. I have to fucking do it again, dude. I didn't pay attention. I think it's 20. Yeah. And obviously we're not going to fit like 20 figurines, so you know, you do what you can, but just going off of sleeves and booster packs and whatever, it's 32 versus 20. So let's use the calculator because I'm bad at math. Three times 32 is 96. 4 times 20 is 80. So these are cheaper and they fit more, but these you can fit more options. So if we're just trying to fit more stuff, we should go with these, but if we want more options, we should go with these. But these do cost more. So the next one will be probably one of those. almost 9. Our card table's full, even though we increased the price. Let's go through some of these, because they're not selling. We might get some big cards. Now that I have an empty spot on this rack over here, I should put up my last box in the corner. Yeah, this is very profitable so far. It's card sleeves. Box is empty. See how I looked right there to make sure that I have my spot for my empty box for moving shit? I'm like, oh, I have it, so I don't need it here. So we can just take this and put it here. Now everything's filled up. Wow, look at that. He bought a big one. Oh, it's cash. 20, 30, 40. Okay. So apparently in this shop, there's no fee for using your card. I wish that was real life. But in real life, the card companies add a fee, so that's why businesses do. So it's not the business that is trying to make more money from you, just so you know. It's the card company, and businesses do not, they cannot take on that fee, because if you have thousands of customers every day, that's way too much money. But I don't know if this is still true, but something I've learned about stores, like grocery stores, for example, is when you do cash back at the register, there is a fee, and they do take on that fee. I think. And that was a piece of information that I heard a long time ago, and I don't know if it's still true, but when you go to a grocery store and you use a card, you get cash back. I believe that the company of the store takes on that fee. I think that they do that in some cases. Maybe the card too, I don't know. But in most cases, the customer is paying the fee because it's just too much for the company to take on due to the amount of customers. And it's kind of like it's an equal exchange, even though the customer does not want to pay it, because it's like, well, we're offering you the convenience of using a card instead of cash, because we could be all cash, but we're giving you the convenience. So in return, we're asking that you pay for the fee that we would have to pay. So it's just a straight transaction. So when the next time you have to pay for that credit card fee, whatever, just remember that they probably have to pay for it too. And in some cases, it might be more than you pay, and they might be splitting it down the middle, but not all businesses are bad and trying to just like charge you. And yeah, it is a part of a business. Like, you want to get as much money as you can, because like, look at this one, for example. It's fake, but I have to keep the lights on here, and when I have an employee, I have to pay the employee. So every single penny I get goes towards keeping this going. And at the end of the day, if the customers are happy to come here, then it's worth it. But there's the veil, there's the curtain in between the two things, between the customer and all the decisions and money and transactions that the customer doesn't see, that as a business owner, you have to do to survive. And even now, in today's day and age in America, it's even more important to do that. Because a lot of businesses are closing now because everything's just too fucking expensive. So sad. I mean, it's very sad. It's a sad time. We're one of the richest countries in the world, and people that have left their countries that are poor and come over here and develop businesses and, family businesses, to support themselves and their family, but also the community and society, have had to close because they can no longer afford to just pay the operating costs, because they're trying to do the right thing and keep prices at a low enough point that their customers are happy, but will also keep coming in. But right now, it's so neck and neck with the two things that it's very difficult to keep it going. So that's enough information. That's enough. So, okay, so we're going to finish this out by finishing out the night. I'm okay with this overflow here. Prices, I feel very confident on all my prices. We are going to update all of these now, starting today. We have run out of juice. We're going to buy a small box of these. But I don't think we need to buy really anything else. Yeah, I think the next day we can just kind of run through the inventory. We can move this over here. And then we have a free space. The black ones we didn't sell. Blue ones, red. So let's actually do some movement here. So if we make this one the overflow, we put this here. These we can put here. Blue being the big one. We can put, oh, they're still black, that's okay. We can put that here. So now we can put something potentially new here. Maybe the white one. Man, I want to keep playing, but I really shouldn't. Oh my god. I have real life shit to do, but this game is so addicting. Fuck. I'm sure I've gone long past my recording point at this time. You know what? Let me check, because I might have stopped recording. I don't know if I even have the storage for this. I might have just fucked everything up. Oh yeah, we gotta stop. 2.89. Okay, so hopefully I got this video. I have to remember, if I do another one, to do this night scene again, but let me just save the game real quick. We have an auto save anyways, that's okay. I'm going to quit. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and have a good night.